All right, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Fake Nerds Watch. This is for Star Trek Discovery, Season 4, Episodes 11 and 12. We paired them up. You know, scheduling's tough, guys. But I am not joined by Michael Karls of the Downright Nerdy Podcast. He's a little bitch today, a little brat. But I am joined by Cookie from Just a Little Podcast.
What is going on, my friend?
Good to see you.
Likewise. Happy to be here.
And this time you're not jumping in at the middle of the episode.
I'm sorry about that too. Yeah, I was rushing to get. I was like, I gotta make it.
It's okay. We're very laxed here at the Fake Nerd Podcast.
Sweet deal.
Okay, but before we get into Discovery Season 4, Episodes 11 and 12, let's talk about the Strange New Worlds trailer that dropped yesterday. This is the next Star Trek show coming. What'd you think?
I'm so happy. I am. This trailer gave me so much joy to watch. I got flooded with emotions. The sound, the visual display. It's not futuristic. It's set in the. I loved every bit of it because this is a Star Trek I grew up on. I grew up on this, and watching this unfold in front of my eyes, I'm getting chills talking about it. It was such a good trailer, and it got me really, really excited, and it was extremely well done. It really got me excited.
Yeah, I agree. I was always excited for the show because I've said it before on this show. We've been talking about Discovery. I think the best season of Discovery was season 2.
Yeah.
And part of that had to do with Captain Pike. And so I was one of the ones who was championing, like, let's get that Captain Pike spinoff, guys. Let's do it. Let's bring him. Let's give him his own show. Let's put it on the Enterprise. Let's get number 1 in Spock. Let's do it. And we're finally here.
Yes.
And I think that it looks really great.
It does. It looks perfect. This is the Star Trek, I think, including Mike. I might have to speak for him. This is a Star Trek we want as fans. This is the Star Trek we long for. So I know I've talked about it on the show. Growing up as a kid, rewatching Star Trek, because my dad was a big Star Trek fan. He got me into Star Trek. And I remember watching this as a kid, the very first pilot episode, and seeing Christopher Pike in his wheelchair. Kid you not, I had nightmares for the rest of my life.
Well, the wheelchair came in the menagerie, not the cage.
Yes, correct. Yes. And I had this was my first episode as far as into Star Trek. Yeah.
That was your first episode? So unfortunate.
I had nightmares getting in this. I was like, holy crap. But as a kid, I wanted more. I wanted that exploration. We're getting that in there. Based off of this trailer, we're seeing so many new worlds. It's a beautiful thing.
I think that Pike operates in a very interesting place in Star Trek canon and in fans' hearts because he's not the first captain, he's the second captain because Robert April is the first. But he's the one that had a pilot, right? There's a show. There is an alternate reality where the cage got picked up by NBC, and that's the show we watched.
That's it. There you go.
Right? So like that's the thing that's always fascinated me is like, and they kept that episode canon. Like that, like they didn't erase that episode. They cut it together and they made it into another episode of the original series. But like there's always been this like, okay, well, what were those adventures that Captain Pike went on before he got into the wheelchair? What was that? And I think they pitch perfect casted him. Anson Mount, wonderful, perfect, wonderful casting. He feels like the same Christopher Pike that we met all those years ago. And it's really cool to see a more modernized version of it, but like what that original show could have been like, what we're seeing of like what Star Trek could have been if they were like, don't do Captain Kirk, keep going with Captain Pike.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's exciting.
It feels like it's a genuine Gene Roddenberry adaptation of Captain Pike's world and what he lived in. I loved it. I truly love it. I'm really, really excited for the show. And there's a lot of elements that also remind me of Enterprise. And as far as like Captain Archer and his mentality, I can just see glimpses of it, like him riding the horse. Mm-hmm. I felt that as well. And I'm like, this is going to be a really great show. I'm really excited for this.
Yeah, they've been saying all the right things. Like they talked about how the show's going to be more episodic than serialized, which great. I'm into that. Going back to kind of that original Star Trek formula, they've updated the technology to look like it's more modern, but they didn't update it to the point where it's unrecognizable. You know,
Correct.
Discovery had that problem in its first season, even in its second season. Like it was just, we keep updating this thing until it's not, you can't recognize it as Star Trek. It's not in the same design um
Like format.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah, as other Star Trek, but like now that shuttle looked like the Galileo 7, but like updated. That
Yeah.
communicator looked like a sleeker design of what Kirk would flip open in the original series. Like we're here. We're
Mhm.
where we, this is the show that should have been without Discovery. Like we should never have gotten Discovery. We should have always gotten this show.
I can agree. I remember as a kid, and even the last Discovery, watching it and them going on to the old Enterprise
Mm-hmm.
and the sounds that you like are so ingrained into us. When I heard that on Discovery, I'm getting it again. Instant goosebumps. I felt the heart flutter, and then hearing that in this trailer got the same exact reaction from me, and I was just lit up like a Christmas tree. I was so happy.
Yeah, me too. The theme song, it's the original theme song for the original
Yes.
series. Oh man, I cannot wait for this show. I'm very happy with Picard. I'm glad to be watching Picard week to week, but like man, let's, like, part of me is just like, let's skip Picard and let's just do Strange New Worlds. I've
There
waited
you
long
go.
enough.
Absolutely. It's good. Do you know how many episodes this is going to be? Have they revealed that and how long they're going to be?
Not as of yet.
Okay.
We're probably looking at an hour length episodes like all the other live action shows.
Hmm.
But we don't know. We don't know how many episodes there are.
I got you.
Um,
What are your expectations based on Discovery, based on Picard? What are you hoping to get? What are your envisions of it? And then what is your ultimate, I guess, thoughts on this as far as are you nervous about it or are you more excited about it?
there's a part of me that is cautiously optimistic because having been burned by Star Trek quite frequently, let's be honest,
Yeah.
like the current new shows of Star Trek are very hit or miss. Mike is constantly talking about how shit Discovery is. And while I don't share that opinion, like it is hard watching it week to week sometimes. Picard season 1 is dreadful. It
I
is
love
not, oh, I'm so sorry. It's dreadful though.
it.
I do not like Picard season 1. It up until now, it was my least favorite Star Trek show on the air right now.
Now Discovery is.
Now Discovery is, which is unfortunate because Discovery is not really that bad. It's just Picard really stepped it up this season.
I
But
got
uh,
you.
I'm optimistic because of what I've been seeing behind the scenes from the production designers, from the cast, from the writers. I think there's some good talent on Strange New Worlds, and there is a sense of like having been entrenched in the serialization of Star Trek for so long, and with the exception of Lower Decks, having a more serious look, a more optimistic look, um, a more episodic look at Star Trek again is exciting to me. I was talking to Ryan, who you know from my podcast, and he was like, "What if they? Do you think there's a world where they ever just remake the original show?" And that's what this is, right? That's what
Yeah,
they're doing this time around. That not, you can't do that. You can't recast Kirk again,
correct.
but you can cast Pike, and you can do the stories 10 years before Kirk took over the Enterprise.
Mhm.
And I think that's. I don't want to be excited, but I am.
Do you think it's I know this is a Discovery more or less podcast, but do you think that the time frame we have with Pike is so small that we're not going to get multiple seasons? We're going to get a one shot type of deal, or do you think it's going to be something where if it's successful, they're going to push it on to more seasons?
I think that we've got enough time. I don't know the exact date that Pike gets hit with the radiation or Kirk takes over the. I mean, I can look it up. I don't have it in front of me.
Okay.
Um, but I know that Discovery, when it first aired, was set 10 years before, and then 9 years before they meet Pike, and that was after the cage. And this looks like to be some time after that. I think we've got about 5 minimum.
Okay,
There's 5 years minimum before his accident.
gotcha.
And I think that there's enough time to tell enough stories. And honestly, like if it's good, I don't even need 5 seasons. I'll take 2 or 3.
Mhm.
And you can even bullshit and be like, yeah, we've got 10 seasons and it all takes place in 1 year. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care. But I think we've got enough time before Kirk shows up.
Okay.
Do you think we'll ever see Kirk?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking no, only because of William Shatner. Because William Shatner, even though we know he cannot play that role as a young person now,
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna want to play it. He's if they're bringing back Captain Kirk for one, even if it's a glimpse, he wants to be that person. He doesn't want anybody else taking that role, and unless he approves of it. So if that's the
Yeah.
case, because I don't think that J.J. Abrams, I don't think he was very much on board with those movies as
Mm-hmm.
far as someone playing him. He's a very personal man, to my knowledge.
For someone who hates Star Trek, you really won't let that go.
Yeah.
Um, I'm what I would like to see, because I do think you got room to be like, Lieutenant Kirk has a mission on the Enterprise. Like, I do think you got room there. I don't need it. You can even have it happen off screen. What I desperately don't want is them to de-age William Shatner like they did Luke
that's
Skywalker.
that's what I'm scared of. That's what I'm
I don't
terrified
want
of.
that. I don't
Yeah.
want that. Recast the character. You did it for Spock. It looks he's perfect. They got a good Spock. You can do it again for Kirk.
Yep.
There are
I
plenty of
agree.
people who can be William Shatner for an episode.
Exactly. With TOS, the beginning intro, was it? I can't remember if it was TOS or which series it was where it said that their mission was a 5-year mission.
It's TOS.
It is TOS. And
It's
TOS was
5-year.
only what 3 seasons too, right?
Yeah.
So if it's 3 seasons, there's a potential we can get 3 seasons out of this if it is good.
Yeah, and I think if because there's a I don't know if this was ever explained in canon, but it is generally assumed that the Enterprise had been on many 5-year exploratory missions.
Okay.
So you could do that again. You could be like Kirk, like Pike is on another 5-year mission, and then the next time we see him, it's another 5-year mission. Like
So
you can
each
just keep
season
doing
could
that.
be a 5-year mission type of ordeal.
Even so,
Potentially.
you could do that, or you could even have like it's part of the 5-year mission. Like the first season is year 1 of the 5-year mission.
Gotcha.
Like we never finished Kirk's 5-year mission. They tried to do that with the animated show, but it's technically not canon, but kind of is sometimes.
Mhm.
And then the comics have tried to do it. Like Kirk never finished out his 5-year mission that we saw, and
Okay.
I think you have the opportunity to. You could do that with Pike. You could see the entire. You could do 5 seasons of a 5-year mission, and that's your show.
Gotcha.
I don't know, man. I'm excited though.
I am. I'm very excited. I'm extremely excited for this.
I think that's enough talking about a 1-minute teaser trailer. 12 minutes on a 1-minute teaser trailer.
It was good. It captivated us.
It's good. I'm excited. I really like the look of it. I like the tone of it. I love all
Yes.
these planets.
Yes.
Bring it on. All right. Why don't we talk about Discovery, episode 11 and episode 12? This is Rosetta and Species 10C. We're not going to split up the episodes because there's not a lot to talk about in Rosetta.
I was honestly going to
Yeah.
tell you, when I watched this episode, I literally completely forgot Rosetta.
Yeah.
And then when I went back, like I was going to try to watch it again, just to try to refresh my mind. And I saw the name, just Rosetta. I'm like, oh, that's what it was. Yeah. Okay. We're good. I don't need to refresh.
It's Discovery has had the unfortunate issue this season of jamming 10-minute subplots into 45-minute episodes.
Yes.
And
Unfortunately.
It's not working.
I think definitely for that episode, it was 100% another filler episode. But for me, I can only speak for me, I think that this episode that just aired was probably the best episode for me out of the season.
Oh.
I truly, truly love this episode. And it's, I think, like moments like this that make me enjoy Star Trek.
Yeah.
Like there are bad episodes throughout all of canon when it comes to Star Trek, but it's those those moments like this where it's a glimmer of hope and you're ecstatic and you're on the edge of your seat trying to figure out what's going on, what's going to happen. And throughout the season, I never got that. I always knew what was going to happen. And then this episode, leaving you on a cliffhanger of what's going to happen, was like, oh, this is what Star Trek is again. And I get revitalized in the season because of this.
Interesting. Yeah, okay. I don't disagree with that. I don't know if I'm willing to say it's the best episode of the season. I can't remember the whole season to say otherwise. But Species 10C has a lot of good. Guess who's here?
Yeah!
Look who
I
made
made
it.
it. I made it.
Look who made it.
Oh,
Sorry,
right.
it took me a while.
Don't
Got
worry.
here.
Literally, we talked for 12 minutes about a trailer, so you're good.
Oh, good. Sweet. Which trailer?
Strange New Worlds.
Oh, it looked terrible. I can't wait. Let's go to the next thing.
Get him out of here. Get him
I
out of
hate you.
here.
I don't want you
No,
on the
it looks
show
awesome.
anymore.
I can't
Looks
wait.
great, right?
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah. We just started talking about Discovery episode 11 and episode 12, Rosetta and Species 10C. And we're not going to spend a lot of time on splitting them up because we both agreed there's not a lot to say about Rosetta.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, but I do think Species 10C. I want to know what you think because we both really like Species 10C, the episode that aired today. What did you think of it?
I thought it was one of the better ones of the entire season.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Mainly because the majority of the entire episode was based on them attempting to make contact with an unknown entity and nothing is working that is traditional. It had a very almost Independence Day kind of vibe, when they're trying to do with the flashing lights, things like that. But
Close Encounters.
That's all I'm going to say. Yeah.
Close Encounters.
Or Close Encounters. Yeah, exactly. But no, yeah. I mean, overall, I wasn't terribly hating this. I found myself not looking at Instagram a lot while watching it, so I thought that's a plus.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see, Burnham, her arc was fine. I found myself very bored with Book and God, what's it? Tarka. I found myself very bored with that storyline. I felt like that type of, I guess, plot point has been done to death in several series, but it was I mean,
yeah, I think
it was
that's
okay. I was just bored with that part. I would have just been more satisfied if Book was like never there and that was never really an issue. And the entire episode was just them trying to make contact with this type of new life, because that's the whole point of Star Trek, finding new beings and new civilizations.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Although I will push back that I think that Tarka's plot line, the Tarka and Book's plot line, helps create a ticking clock. And the thing about Discovery is they really like the drama.
Isn't the ticking clock the DMA
getting to Earth?
Going after Earth?
But now there's a more ticking clock.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
There's a more tickinger clock. That's what it basically is, right? It's like it's a ticking clock for the audience because the audience now they know that what Book and Tarka are doing, and they want Zora to figure it out, and we want Zora to figure it out, and we want Burnham and everyone to like talk faster with this species before whatever Tarka is going to do is going to destroy everything. And I don't necessarily mind that. I do agree that it is a little played out at this point, and it is a little boring. But what helps it is that Tig Notaro comes back in these last 2 episodes.
Yeah, she's probably I think she's one of my favorite parts of the episode because she kind of does this thing where, ironically, she does the same thing that another character in another Star Trek show did in episode 2. But she like takes apart some stuff just to put it back together in a different way so that she can get some communication out there. It's kind of neat. She MacGyvered the heck out of that thing.
Yeah.
Black licorice and a comm badge. It was kind of cool.
I like her a lot, and I really don't know why she's not on the show full time. I don't get it. I'm sure there's a reason.
It's probably because she's too good for the show. That's probably what it is.
It could be scheduling. It could be COVID. It could be what Mike said, which is unlikely. But
Doubtful.
I hope that next season she's a regular, because I talk about it all the time. She's one of the few cast members of the show that actually has a defined role to play on the show, and the fact that we see so little of her is so frustrating.
Yep. Agree.
I do think actually Rosetta, talking about characters, I do think Rosetta is good for Detmer. I liked
In
the
what
stuff they
way?
did with Detmer.
Getting her story out and kind of getting an understanding of who she is as a character, because we don't necessarily get a lot of her backstory in why she is the way she is and why she feels the way she does, her PTSD, her recovery from PTSD. All that stuff plays like a vital role into who she is, and it's a mystery on why she is the way she is.
And it felt more natural to progress that story for her in the episode, rather than, what I always talk about, like the two talking heads on that shuttle. Like, if like it came up because of how they're learning to communicate with species 10C, with the pheromones and with everything, that she's able to open up a bit, and we have her in the middle of the action and not necessarily kind of on the outskirts saying these random lines that are supposed to make us care about a character. Like, we're supposed to care about this character in this moment, and I think we do. And I think Detmer is another character that is served very well on Discovery. One of the few side characters that actually has a
Very well.
character.
I think just fine is a more appropriate term. Very well.
Why would you say just fine versus very well?
I mean, if you're talking about over the course of the entire series, this is the
Yeah, I
first
would
time
say
we've-
over the course, yeah, and including all of, like, say, like the subpar cast. So anybody who's not necessarily like an official head officer, she has that
which is
mystery
everybody
about her.
except for Burnham and
And
Saru.
Saru.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's a
Listen.
difference between Detmer and Awoshikun as far as
Oh,
like
no, for
character
sure.
development,
Yeah.
and there's a difference between, like, they literally replaced the communications officer of Discovery and nobody noticed, right? Like, do
Who
you
was the communications officer?
the black character? Can you honestly tell me the biggest difference between Lieutenant Christopher, the communications officer, and the other guy who left? I forgot his name. I'm so sorry. But like the other guy who's just like, peace out. I'm gonna go over here with David Cronenberg. I'm not even gonna be in the show anymore. Like, there's really no difference between those two characters, and that's a shame. But if Detmer was replaced by someone else, I'd notice.
Detmer,
Well, I mean, it's because of her
Detmer and
eye.
Awoshika. I mean,
Well, maybe not.
I
Not
know
just
that.
because of the eye.
Well, yeah, obviously the eye, but well, actually, yeah, that's pretty much what I was going to be going for right there. I mean, she had definitely got that 7 of 9 look,
Yeah.
going.
That's true.
I honestly think that's the only reason why she was there and got as much screen time as she's been getting.
Well, she got that because she was on the Shenzhou.
Mm.
So Burnham was directly responsible for that thing. That's like the one thing I knew about her before this happened. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I like what they're doing. I like what they generally do with Detmer. I think Detmer is one of the more served characters on the show as far as like the extended bridge crew. There's the trio in the side there that just don't do anything, and they constantly be like, this guy's important. Are they? Like, you literally replaced one and nobody gave a shit.
Yeah.
But Species 10C has my favorite thing in Star Trek, which is just a long scene where they're just talking about communicating with a species. And I'm not even being sarcastic. I really dug that.
No, I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier.
Yeah, I like
Are
how
you guys getting a sense of family between these two episodes?
no.
A what? A sense of family?
Because you know how like the underlining theme is we're all a family, we all love each other. Are you guys getting that?
That's true.
No.
That's a good point.
I got more out of that out of the Fast 9 franchise.
Well, Discovery really likes to play up the idea that their crew is a family, and I
I
think that they're friends
one by one. I think they're just friends.
I think they're friends. They're good friends
Yeah.
sometimes. I don't see a family.
Yeah,
I think they're
see a
friends
family
that see
either.
other people sometimes. They're just a little bit friends with benefits on the side. That's pretty much
There
what
you
it comes down to.
They got a whole new galaxy of benefits to deal with. They're not going in
And a
the
whole
they're
new
not doing it in
timeline.
the ship.
And a whole new
Speaking of
timeline, yeah.
benefits, Saru, I am loving his side story.
Me too.
Give me more Saru sides. That's what I want.
Me
I have
too.
to say, I did like the interaction that he had with Burnham when she gave him some advice about her reaction publicly to what Saru said And she was Burnham was saying that Sarek used to do that all the time. It's really just how they kind of deal with it.
Logic above all.
Yeah. Um, and he definitely appreciated it. I mean, like them yelling, I guess, that was kind of a nice thing too, I guess.
We finally got her to actually talk louder than a whisper. Let's get pretty happy about it.
I could take it or leave it. I don't really think it serves much purpose in the plot line, but it was a nice like human moment to finally raise her volume a little bit. Honestly, for me, like the whole episode, honestly, I wouldn't say on the edge of my seat, because the other Star Trek episode that aired today, I was.
No, I wasn't on the edge of my seat because I knew we at least had one more episode of this season left.
Yeah,
and I would be more excited if this was the last episode.
I would
then I'd
be
done
very
with it for a year. No, I know. Just in the sense that we'd be done with it for a year.
You don't have to talk about it anymore. Just like finally,
straight to Picard and Strange New Worlds, and then back to Lower Decks, and then
I'm free of my curse. You like the guy cursed to talk about Star Trek Discovery every week.
Who?
That's just you. Yeah, I've cursed you to talk about Star Trek Discovery every week.
Oh yeah. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I haven't brought up the RV in a long time. Maybe I'll do that next episode.
What RV?
The RV that people decide to live in because they can.
Oh yeah,
in the middle of the desert.
Well, that's not a thing anymore because Picard's a better show.
I just realized something though.
What?
You can't necessarily transport a whole house from like Hawaii to California, but you can transport an RV from Hawaii to California.
I don't want to talk to
RV.
you.
The reason why she lives in an RV is because you're able to move it from one location to another. So
you're telling me, hold on, you're telling me that by the 24th century they've not figured out how to move a house?
I'm trying to justify it here. I'm trying to help.
There is no justification. It was a stupid plot line.
I think it's great. I think it's the best thing about Star Trek right now, to be quite honest with you.
A bad season of Star Trek Picard is the best thing that came out of Star Trek. By the way, Cookie liked Star Trek Picard last season. So,
I did.
It's
because I'm a Jean-Luc Picard fan. I just like him.
Narrow doors, narrow-minded. It is what it is.
I got a new webcam, so these doors look pretty damn nice. If you ask me,
still look narrow. I'm gonna say.
So I can get this thing tilted.
They look like long and.
Yeah.
Do they go up to the ceiling?
They look like they're made for.
They
Saru,
do go up to the
quite
ceiling.
Honest with you. They look like they're made for Saru.
This has been Doorcam on Fake News Watch. Yeah. One of the things that I did enjoy about this episode was how Zora was kind of piecing together. I always like Zora. I think she's a good addition to the show. But how she's piecing together, like something's off. And I can't place it.
I need to play chess to figure out what it is.
Well, it's to calm her mind, and that was here's the thing about that. It's set up in a prior episode, so I'm okay with it paying off here.
Yeah.
And so because she's a new life form, so she's constantly dealing with all these different synapses and things throughout the ship, and she can constantly feel what's happening outside and inside the ship. So she can't quite figure it out, and through the help of Hugh, who once again solid. I really like it. I really like what they're doing with Hugh in this season. Are able to figure out that like bookship is attached to the thing, and if they and like because the audience knows that this is happening. I lost my plot. I really like the
dread that you get.
It's a sense of dread. Yes. Yeah, I really like that.
Mike seems so enthusiastic about it.
He's always enthusiastic about Discovery. This is just a Discovery. This is he's always you're a Discovery curmudgeon.
I mean, I think I'm a Discovery realist.
That's fair.
Mike, but besides getting rid of Discovery, what could you do to this episode to make it enjoyable for you?
I'm really glad you said besides.
Why are you not giving me my plan A?
Because we already know your plan A.
That's too easy. To be fair, Mike, real quick, I even said that Strange New Worlds should have been the show that Discovery was when it first aired.
Yeah, no, I remember you saying that. Yeah, and your question was, what could we do to make it better? Is what you're saying?
What would you make this episode to make this episode?
Well, I already think this is probably one of the best ones of the season. I
Yeah,
think
that's
it's
fair.
fine.
That's not saying much when everything sucks.
I said the Rosetta sucked. 10C was 10C wasn't bad because it had a lot of the same things that that Brandon enjoyed that I did. The trying to figure out how to speak to 10C, and I already said it. I would kind of get rid of, well, throughout the entire season, I probably just would get rid of Book and Tarka's thing, or at least dumb it down a little bit more. That way, we just focus on the 10C as the only threat, as opposed to, Tarkin needs to get back to the mirror universe, which is probably going to be like some weird futuristic. It's probably going to be the same future that Picard's in right now.
Do we think we see the species 10C, like not covered by fog or whatever? Do you think we like see species 10C at the end of the season?
I don't think it matters.
You don't think so? I'd like to.
I mean, just for aesthetically, yeah, it'd be kind of neat to see it.
Yeah,
but I mean,
are they spacefaring? Like, do they breathe in space? Like do they have vessels?
I think that they're breathing within the atmosphere of those giant gas giants, right? Those three.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they're probably some kind of species that lives among the cloud, in like Cloud City, minus the buildings. Yeah.
Because we found their old planet where they came from, this kind of rogue planet. By the way, really cool concept. I kind of wish we stuck on it a bit more, of the star within the Dyson rings. That was a cool idea. I really like bold sci-fi concepts, and I'm very bummed when we don't just explore bold sci-fi concepts. I like when they give us a little thing, but that was a gas giant that had like a layer, like a rock layer on top of it. So they could have lived inside of it, and then their eggs were on top of it.
Yeah,
that could be.
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know if there's much else that can be said. Certainly of Rosetta, but I'm not sure about Species 10C. Just watched it earlier today, and so that says a lot, I guess.
Did you guys get
No.
Jeez, let him finish.
I didn't know I was gonna go with it now. Oh man, crap! It'll come back to me.
Next week's the last episode of Discovery.
Oh yeah.
Oh Jesus. No, you know what? I'm happy to. I'm honestly happy too, because like after 4 weeks of filler, I was happy that this episode was good. I was happy that I was engaged in it and I was into it. But after 4 weeks of filler, I'm done. I'm ready for the show to be done. This episode should have happened earlier. The show should have been shorter. We should have been here much quicker. And the fact that we're not, I get the idea of wanting to be like, let's figure out how they communicate before we communicate. Sure, okay, that's 20 minutes though.
It did feel like it was a little too late, and then while we were there, it's like there's such a time crunch. It felt like it dragged on.
Yeah.
Even though it felt like it dragged on, it's odd that it's my favorite episode of the season.
Well, because it doesn't feel like it's wasted, because it feels like it's paced well, because we have to wait for these mathematical problems to be solved and for them to figure out the cipher, like, and then for 10C to talk back and then see if it's an open line of communication. Like, that's honestly stuff that I find really interesting, and it was done in a way that felt realistic, in a way that you knew that time was passing, but you didn't feel like wasted time was passing. Like, you felt like there was progress being made in the story. There was progress being made talking to 10C. There was a path that this could work, and and the DMA could be turned off and save whatever. And then Tarka threw a wrench in it, and which creates the drama for the next episode. So I don't feel like there was a wasted moment in this episode, but I do feel like there were plenty of wasted episodes and moments the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's very well said.
Thank you.
Do you guys have any predictions for the next episode? And are we going to be
going to be the conclusion of season 4?
What was the next thing you were going to say, Cookie?
Do you think the series is going to be greenlit for another season?
It already is.
It is. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mike.
It is coming back.
I'm sorry, Mike.
It's their most popular show.
Like,
you can't be surprised. It's very popular.
So
And it looks
what do you
great.
what do you guys want from the last episode?
Am I allowed to say a good episode?
That will do.
No, but like realistically, what I want from a season finale of Discovery is something that's action packed, something that flows with the story and wraps up everything in a nice little bow. To be fair, I've always gotten that. This season, I'm a little weary that we might not, though. There's a lot of ground to cover in the last episode, and I'm not sure if they're gonna do it. I don't want the season to end and they're stuck outside the galaxy. I don't want that.
I feel like it's a cliffhanger. I feel like Booker is gonna be dead. Something's gonna happen outside that we don't know about, and it's gonna leave us on a cliffhanger to follow into the next season.
I guess.
I think that Tark is going to get his wish, and they're going to get sucked into some other alternate universe, and they're going to have to find their way out, and then that's how they're going to bring back the what's her face, the old Asian female Giorgio. She's somehow for some reason gonna be there. I don't know. Maybe Lorca will show back up and it'll come back full circle. I don't know.
I'd like to see Jason Isaacs back. I'll be honest. I like him a lot.
Awesome.
I love him. I really liked him in the first season. I don't think we see Giorgio though, because theoretically that's
because Section 31's still happening.
Yeah, we're still getting that show.
So good.
I don't want that show though. I don't want it. That's the one Star Trek show where I'm just like, maybe you don't do that one. I never needed Section 31 to play a bigger role than they ever did in DS9. I
didn't mind it. I liked it actually.
I don't need I like DS9. I like it. I like them in DS9. Once you got to like, we have our own ship with our own fleet and our own AI system, and we're a whole thing where all of Starfleet knows about us because we got special badges and special uniforms, and we're all special. I don't care. You're no longer Starfleet secret CIA. You're now just Starfleet. Just ruder.
They gotta get shit done.
I just don't care about watching an entire show about Section 31.
Well, it's gonna happen. You made me watch Discovery, so we're gonna watch Section 31.
Look, I'll cop to that. I will cop to that. But you know what? If this ever becomes a chore, we shouldn't be watching these shows. You know, this is supposed to be fun.
I don't think that'll happen for either you or me, buddy. We're too deep into the Star Trek.
You need to have fun, man.
Let me tell you, man. Star Trek is, out of all the type of media, all the different things that I got over here, Star Trek is high and beyond anything that goes to number 2, 3, or 4. Star Trek is my thing, and I don't like Discovery, but I am having a ton of fun just talking about it with you.
And see, that's the important thing.
That's all I care about.
That's the important thing.
That's been the highlight of the season, as opposed to Lower Decks, where the highlight was actually watching the show and not talking to you guys.
That show's pretty good.
That's fair. That's fair.
I think that show's coming back after. I have a theory that show's after Strange New Worlds, the next season.
That would probably peg it like around August.
Probably just about, yeah.
Cool. I'm down. Holiday Lower Decks, holiday Star Trek. I'm happy.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so I don't know if there's anything more we can say about Star Trek Discovery. I like this last episode. I hope the next one is good. Still not as good as season 2. Why don't we just? That's the one with control. That's the one I was bitching about just like 5 minutes ago with like Section 31. Even though I like that season.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah, there was a whole Section 31 season. Okay, why don't we do some plugs when we get out of here and talk about a good Star Trek show in a bit. Cookie, plug your stuff.
You can find me on Instagram at Just Little Podcasts, on Twitter at Just Podcasting. You can find me on all your podcasting platforms, so Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, the whole 9 yards. I am on Patreon, so you can go and support the podcast for as little as $3 a month. For as little as $5 a month, you get access to exclusive content that you will find nowhere else in the galaxy. But yeah, that's me. Live long and prosper.
What about outside the galaxy?
Hey. We don't talk about outside the galaxy. We stay in.
What would happen if we actually went outside? If we actually went to the very edge of our galaxy and there was a giant barrier made of like antimatter energy? What would happen? Would we all just would all of physics just collapse and we'd be like, "What the fuck? Star Trek was right."
Well, I'm a great driver, so if you guys want, I will drive and navigate our way through. We'll be fine.
It's gonna take
All
a
we
little.
need is family.
That's the perfect way to
I'm
end
waiting.
the show.
I'm waiting for that crossover. Star Trek: Fast and the Furious. All right, Mike, plug your stuff.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Mike from Downright Nerdy Podcast. Every week, every Saturday, our new episodes debut. Me and my wife Riley, we do a fun comedy show, and yeah, come join us. You can find us on Instagram at Downright Nerdy Podcast or on Twitter at Downright_nerdy. You can find us on YouTube and all your favorite podcasting apps like Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, all that stuff. So, yeah.
All right, now let me do the pitch. This is part of the Fic Nerd podcast family of podcasts. This is Fic Nerd's Watch for Star Trek Discovery. We have other Fic Nerds Watches. We just did Boba Fett and Peacemaker over on the channel. If you subscribe to this channel and you like this video, you can check out all sorts of content, guys. We have so many videos out right now. You can check out more of Star Trek Discovery. We got the entire season so far of Star Trek Discovery Season 4, where we liked some of it. You can watch that. We have the first season of Star Trek Picard that's up there as well. You can check out Basement Arcade. We are going through Mortal Kombat X right now. You can check out Basement Arcade Pause Menu, a new episode coming up next week, not this coming week. Not this week. Animation Station, Fic Nerd Book Club, they all have episodes up there right now. And of course, you can check out our audio feed wherever you listen to podcasts, and the Fic Nerd Podcast, which is our mothership show. That's the show that encompasses everything that we do on this channel. And this kind of like little network that we have. That show recently, we just did an episode of The Batman. We talked about the latest DC film, The Batman. Spoiler alert, we all really liked that movie. I thought that movie ruled.
It was good.
Did you not like it, Mike?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
we're
fair.
going to see it on Saturday.
Nice. Let me know. I'm
We're
curious.
really excited, actually.
Yeah.
Really excited. Not about the 3-hour runtime, just about the movie.
Pee before.
Riley pees every 15 minutes.
It's okay.
No,
Sorry,
trust
that's
me,
too.
you make sure even have a little cup for something because it's a long movie.
No, don't do the cup. That's really rude to other people.
That's actually her problem. And I mean, you know me, Brandon. I don't care about other people. they can be.
That's fair. Very un-Star Trek of you, I must say.
It's more Section 31 of me, I think. We just got to get it done.
This coming week on the Fic Nerd Podcast, we are not sure what we're talking about, actually. We're either talking about Turning Red, The Atom Project, either one of those. We don't know. So
Why
check
don't you
it.
guys talk about the last season of Last Kingdom.
Because none of us are watching it.
Oh, it's so good.
I need to watch it. It's on my
wanna
list
see it.
to watch.
Oh, it's so good.
I'll get
Just
there,
dropped
man.
on Netflix. Just it's the final season. I didn't know it was a final. I thought it was just the 5th, but it's the final.
That's the South Korean zombie show?
No, you're thinking of
Viking
Just
one,
Kingdom.
right?
Last Kingdom is
Last Kingdom.
is based on old ancient Britain, where like back in the 800 AD, and it's King Edward and all the different it's like Vikings essentially, just an alternate type of storyline. Really, really cool. It's like Game of Thrones without dragons, without magic and dragons. It's like
less interesting.
But actually, it has a good storyline and it has good acting.
Touche. I haven't seen Game of Thrones either.
Oh Lord, come!
I never watched Game of Thrones.
People.
I never watched Game of Thrones.
Well, you know what? I mean, it's great until the last season. So if you want to watch a huge disappointment, then yes, enjoy it until the last season.
It's great all around.
Just wait for the book, because by the time you actually get through all of it, maybe he'll be done with the book. Who knows?
Yeah, right.
I still don't think he will.
I don't think he'll ever be done. Anyway,
No.
That doesn't matter. So stay tuned on the Fic Nerd Podcast. Again, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. You can check out all the things. The Fic Nerd Podcast goes live every Sunday night. So if you're up, hang out with us. That's everything. You can find me at BC McClure on Instagram and Twitter, Fic Nerd Podcast on all the social medias. I also write for Screen Rant. There's a couple of Star Trek Picard pieces up there on my Screen Rant page. You can check those out. I'm writing up a Strange New Worlds piece right now, which will probably be up someday. I just put up a Halo piece. That's really cool. Did you know that Steve Downes was not the only person to play Master Chief?
Yes.
I didn't. That was cool. And you can check out my pieces on Atomic Geekdom, where I'm currently going through what I believe are the 50 most important moments of the MCU's Infinity Saga. The new piece just went up this week about what I think is a stupid decision that Disney keeps like pushing all the Pixar movies onto Disney Plus, like Soul, Luca, and now Turning Red. Dumb, really dumb. And I wrote about that. That's up now. And I'm also the editor for Kaiju Ramen Magazine, their website specifically. Check out all that stuff. You can find everything there. Again, thank you so much. I think that's it. You all plugged your stuff. So why don't we just say, live long and prosper.